Hello, everyone. This is Phil Yaeger, and it's been a while since I did a Facebook Live broadcast. I'm broadcasting here from Maryland, and I have to tell you, looking out, quite gloomy, sort of snowing. This reminded me of the type of day when I knew I was getting my results for the CPA exam, and I knew it was going to be delivered because we didn't have the internet back then. All right. And in fact, based on the FCC ruling yesterday, you may not have the internet either in the future, but that's another situation. But anyway, seriously, I went out to the mailbox and, it was a gloomy day, as I said, and I checked it and I opened it up and I only passed one part, business law. So I know a lot of you are now waiting for your results and you're very scared, depressed. You can't sleep at night, you're having dreams, and the dreams are always, well, I failed everything, and I don't know, life is going to end, that type of thing. Well, it's a normal reaction, especially the fact that a lot of you have been waiting for these results for a long time, and unusually long time. So if you're nervous, it's understandable. All I can tell you is understandable, and I'm sure there's so many people out there that are nervous, thinking they failed. Well, look at the bright side of this thing. Based on the statistics of what they pass, there's a 50-50 chance of really passing these parts of the exam, much higher than when I took the exam. So look at that, 50-50. God, if they gave me those odds for the lottery tickets, I would be buying them every hour on the hour and never stop buying them, right? But these are good odds. So just think of it, hey, what's the worst thing that happens? The worst thing that happens is you don't pass, and you just have to go in and take it again, all right? But that's the worst thing. They can't take out your savings. They can't fire you from your job. They can't kick you out of your house, your apartment, whatever. So it's not the worst thing, but just think positively. That's all you can do is think positively. Anyway, getting away from that, I want to wish you, first of all, it's the holiday season, and from my course, Yaeger CPA Review, and our instructors, we wish you a happy holiday, and that could be no matter what you're celebrating, and also a healthy, happy new year. And for a lot of you, I do hope you pass the exam. So what do? Well, besides helping students who call me up with questions, I do go through and look at different things on the internet, and there's forums, and sometimes the forums are good to look at, sometimes they're bad, but a forum caught my eye, and it said that the blueprints are not that important. Someone asked, are the blueprints important? And this person said, whoever writes this forum said, no, the blueprints are not important. Well, that sort of got to me, and I said, I've always taken the philosophy, I'm here to help the students. That's the most important thing, helping the students pass this exam. And why is that important to me? Because throughout the years that I've been in this program, the CPA review program, which is actually going on 40 years, it's hard to believe, 40 years, I meet people, and the greatest thing you can get, a lot of you might think it's money, but the greatest thing is not money. It's people coming over and saying, hi, Phil. Gee, I do remember you. Do you remember me? Of course, God, I don't remember everybody. But I say, well, thank you very much. They always say nice things, and I can't ask for anything more than that. And a lot of times they'll tell me I changed their lives, and therefore, then I know that what I've done must have been something right, because these people still remember me, and they come over to me. And these are a lot of people over the years. And I taught live courses here in Washington, D.C., and we used to have, I'd say during the year with the live courses, we probably had 700, 800 people a year, which is a phenomenal amount of people. So, you take that over the number of years before the exam actually became computerized, all right? I know a lot of people in this area, and if you get on the Amtrak, Metro, whatever, you meet people who've actually taken the course. So anyway, I really appreciate that, and that's why I do it. And therefore, I really get sort of upset when I see things on these forums because we didn't have forums, all right? Basically, people would, talk to each other. And yeah, it wasn't as much today because of the internet. It gives you a forum to complain, say things or whatever. But, a forum is supposed to be, at least my philosophy of a forum is, it's to actually give you information, but information that is correct. So let me clarify this, all right? The blueprints are very important. Any site that says they're not important, you have to question them, all right? Now, what are they if they make those statements? Well, I know that I am an approved CPA review course provider because I know that I go to the AICPA headquarters every March, April, and every August we meet at the National AAA meeting, and we meet with the Director of Examinations, all right? And the Director of Examinations is a very nice gentleman, Michael Decker. And usually I have the opportunity of talking to Michael one-on-one, or, he gives, information about what's going to be on the exam. And they came out starting in April with these blueprints. Why? Because prior to the blueprints, you just had a content specification, which said they're going to test business combinations in financial. They'll test inventory. All right. They gave you the subjects, the content, but it was always the question. Those subjects were very broad, all right, and contained a lot of stuff. So what do I study if I'm studying inventory? Well, they came out with these maps, directions, exactly what they want. They specify the task. They specify what journal entries you have to know. So if you just study those and you look at what they're asking, all right, that's what they're going to ask. They're not going to put something and sneak something in now, all right, because I talk to people and they tell me everything that was covered was in the blueprints. And in fact, when we wrote our own books, I said we're going to have every blueprint, and then under each blueprint, we'll have all the material that you need to know under that blueprint. We write our books with the blueprints because those are the maps. Those are the tasks that the AICPA examination division tells us, the course providers who are approved by them. Now, not everyone is an approved course provider. So, take a lot of times what you see on the internet with a grain of salt. And please remember, all right, whatever anybody else says, the most important thing is, all right, oh, this is the group, my wife just, whatever anybody else says, all right, take with a grain of salt. And remember, blueprints, think blueprints, all right? A lot of people still don't know what blueprints are. Go to the AICPA.org website for the students, and all the blueprints are there. They're not put away in a safe someplace, all right, so you can't see them. They are there for you to see what they are. And by the way, this organization, all right, is called Alpaca. Alpaca sounds like doesn't sound like an animal, all right, that gives fur, which is the American Professional Accounting Certification Providers Association. And I'm actually very proud to say that I was asked to join, all right? You can't just go to them and say, I want to join, all right? They have to invite you, and you get to join. I've been a member probably at least 12, 13 years, all right? It's been a long time. But please follow those blueprints. So when you get your results, okay, and hopefully you pass, and you may have the next part to move on to, then what you do is you just follow the blueprints, and I promise you, if you know the subject matter under these blueprints for whatever part you're studying for, you will pass the exam. But don't go and say, hey, I'm going to look at the old content specification, all right, that says, God, I got to know inventories. I got to know if it's regulation. I have to know S corporations. But what do you want to, you have to know what you need to know about those subjects. So that's why I decided to say the secret to success on passing this exam is following the AICPA blueprints. They're now telling you, God, they're giving you the information. They're telling you these are the tasks, all right? Some of those tasks in financial, they want you to know the journal entries. If they tell you they want you to know the journal entries, then you got to know the journal entries. Now, of course, they're not going to ask you every task, all right, because the exam would then be, 2, 3, 4 days, all right, for just financial accounting or for regulation, all right. So you have to know them all. If you know them all right, and you're familiar with them, there's no reason why, with the cutoff curve, all right, you should be able to pass these parts of the exam. So anyway, I think I've spoken enough. I don't want to bore you to death. I just want to say to you once again, hey, happy holidays. Hey, good success with the results coming out, all right? And try to calm down, relax, enjoy the holidays, watch Netflix, watch Amazon, watch something, watch a movie. I like to watch movies, all right? So anyway, take care, good luck, and I want to wish you the best. I really do. Happy holidays. What